So I understand Hunley's at the bottom of Charleston Harbor again.
Yes.
I hope and pray that the crew was able to get out safely.
One survived.
Hopefully he'll be able to shed some light on what the problem's been.
I've talked to him, and one of the hatches didn't close properly, and the Hunley took water as soon as it submerged.
Which crew member survived?
Lieutenant Dixon, the commander.
So this is it.
Yes, sir. Quite a sight, isn't it?
General Beauregard wanted to see if this infernal contraption can do more than sink to the bottom of the harbor.
It sank?
Twice so far.
The introductions are in order. Y'all know me. My job is to report to General Beauregard on the progress of this mission. This is Lieutenant Dixon. He'll be the commander of this vessel on the upcoming mission. This is Colonel William Alexander, Confederate Secret Service. He'll be looking in the Charleston area for spies. This is Major Foster. He's here to hunt down and eliminate any of the threats that we find. Lieutenant Dixon, what's your target date for the next launch?
Sometime in February, sir.
Do you see any issues that might cause delays?
Well, what you see here is the cleaned up version of what we pulled out of the water last October. So there are a number of components that'll have to be replaced.
You mean parts?
Yes, and some of these parts are pretty hard to find right now.
That would be on account of the blockade.
So how do we get around these problems?
Blockade runners.
Damn pirates.
We don't deal with them directly.
We deal with those who deal with the runners.
Well, Colonel, being with the Secret Service, I imagine you are aware of someone like that.
The most well-known here in Charleston is Miss Annabelle.
I know where to find her.
I can provide a detailed list of what we need, if that'll help.
I'm sure it will, Lieutenant.
You might well be the luckiest man here, Mr. Dixon.
Oh, why is that?
I understand Mr. Hunley himself replaced you on the last mission.
Yes, he did.
So the ship went down and everybody was lost.
That is correct, sir.
Gentlemen, for those of you who are unacquainted, this is Miss Annabelle.
Thank you, General. I am delighted to be of service.
Ma'am, I trust the colonel here provided you with the list I assembled.
He did. Please understand that current circumstances make this a most difficult assignment. As you may know, Charleston is starving.
You think you can do it?
Considering that I was unfamiliar with most of this nautical equipment, I have had to do quite a bit of scavenging.
Sounds like you can only provide part of the list.
I have been able to acquire the rubber and metal components. However, I have had to contact one of my associates for the bilge pump. Delivery will be tight.
Another traitor?
Yes, his name is Parker.
Parker? He's a thief.
Major, why do you say that?
He deals with the Yanks.
Gentlemen, let me explain that those of us who engage in these types of clandestine activities must appear to maintain cordial relations with all sides. I have known Mr. Parker for years, and he will be able to obtain that bilge pump.
At the right price.
Please understand that all of our endeavors require appropriate compensation.
I own a piece of property up north here. I used to have this man come through once in a while. Seemed like a decent fellow.
I don't like dealing with these kind of people.
I guess we don't have much of a choice.
No, we do not. Miss Annabelle, you'll get what you need.
Thank you. Please have a seat.
I appreciate you taking the time to see me today, Miss Annabelle.
Certainly, Lieutenant, but I must tell you that I have not had a chance to acquire any of the items on your list since we spoke yesterday.
I imagine not, but that's not why I'm here.
How may I help you?
I've only recently been given command of the Hunley, and I've been tasked with finding an appropriate crew.
I suppose congratulations are in order. But why would you think I could be of assistance with that?
This establishment is a sporting house, is it not?
Yes, that is one of our offerings.
I must admit, I've only very rarely visited such an establishment, usually with shipmates in the process of drinking as much alcohol as possible.
Yes, that is another one of our offerings. We provide some much-needed respite in these hard times.
As with similar places of business here in Charleston, I imagine yours is frequented by sailors?
Yes, we had a great many come through before the blockade. Even now, a lot of our regulars are foreign seafarers who've been stranded here.
That sounds like what I may need. General Beauregard has made it clear that he wants an experienced crew with as much military experience as possible. They must volunteer not only for the mission, but for the Army of the Confederacy as well, if they haven't already.
But the Hunley has had previous missions, has it not?
Well, there were no survivors of the first two missions.
That is most unfortunate. But I hope that you will be truthful about these dangers in your recruiting efforts.
Truthful is necessary.
Meaning that you will buy them a lot of drinks before you sign them up.
Now, I have no intention of turning your establishment into a recruiting station. But if you have any recommendations...
There are some who would appreciate employment. If your intention is to punch a hole in this blockade and alleviate the suffering of the people of Charleston, then I shall do all I can to assist. I would recommend that you return to the tavern this evening.
Thank you, Miss Annabelle. Major Foster, whom you met yesterday, he said he would like to stop by and have a word with you as well.
Concerning?
The Hunley is a target for saboteurs. You can imagine that many northern interests do not want us to succeed.
What is the Major's role in this?
He's working with Colonel Alexander to locate and mitigate any of these threats.
Then he may certainly call on me, but please let him know that I do not keep morning hours.
Well, thank you, Miss Annabelle. I appreciate you giving me this time.
Of course. Major Foster, Lieutenant Dixon has already informed me of the purpose of your visit. While I fully support your endeavor, I must humbly request that there be no bloodshed on my premises.
Not too good for business, I imagine.
No, a fight here and there is to be expected, but murder and assassination will not do. I must keep my girls safe.
I understand, but there's something you need to know. The colonel you met a few days ago, he's an intelligence officer.
Meaning that he is some kind of investigator?
Confederate Secret Service.
Oh my. What have you heard?
There's a good many spies here in Charleston right now.
They are seeking to sabotage the Hunley?
Some.
Do you suspect any particular individuals?
Spies are pretty good at hiding things like that, you know.
Do you think they've been here?
Absolutely.
Any idea of what they might look like?
It could be anyone, even one of your girls.
I see, and they probably would not sound like Yankees. I will scrutinize anyone I do not know. How do I contact you if I suspect someone?
I'll be checking in with you every evening.
And if you're lucky, you might intercept one of them?
That would not be lucky for them.
I would hope not. Ladies, we have a new matter to attend to. We'll be seeing a lot more soldiers and sailors in here.
Finally, some good news. I'm happy to have more customers.
Of course, we welcome them, but they're here on official business. Due to protocol, they will not be going upstairs, but they will pay full price for their drinks.
So they're here for some secret military matters?
I cannot provide much information, and it's best if you don't know too much either. These men are not supposed to tell you any details. And that brings us to our next concern. Saboteurs.
Spies.
Yes. We need to be very, very attentive to anyone we have not seen in here before, especially if they seem interested in naval affairs or anything regarding the blockade.
All they do is talk about the blockade.
Everyone complains, but listen to how they talk.
They think we're just stupid girls. They'll say things in front of us they wouldn't say in front of others.
What do we do if we come across such individuals?
If you suspect that you're in the company of a saboteur, you need to very carefully relay the information to Major Foster over there. He works with the Army in these matters. Next to him is Lieutenant Dixon. The lieutenant is recruiting gentlemen who might be seeking a naval assignment.
The Army's always recruiting. These officers must be looking for something special.
Philly?
I know. That's what we're not supposed to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will the major and the lieutenant be at our establishment during work hours?
The lieutenant will usually be here in the mornings. The major may be here in some of the evenings, but they are all available to come in as needed.
If they're not available, who do we report to then?
Either myself or Helen.
Everyone reports everything to me anyway, whether I like it or not.
I think you like it.
Miss Annabelle, with regards to those with maritime experience, I am aware of 2 individuals who, like myself, originally hailed from Germany.
Let me ask the major about that. Lieutenant Dixon, the candidates for your mission, would they be disqualified if they were foreigners, say from Germany?
That'll be just fine. As you know, military experience is preferred.
Thank you. I will let the girls know. Lieutenant Dixon says that foreign candidates are acceptable.
Is there a reward if we find one?
The reward will be ending the blockade.
That's enough for me.
I'll do anything to end this war.
We all will. Back to work.
Hey, Tilly, you want to let's go?
Well, come on.
Look who's home before dark. What did you find out in Charleston?
Well, Mother, looks like I have a new assignment.
Oh, wonderful, son. Do tell.
Let's see. I'll be training for a few weeks, and then I start the assignment.
All right, what is your assignment?
I can't tell you, Mother.
What do you mean, you can't tell me?
Well, it's a secret.
You don't keep secrets from your mother, Johann.
Well,
there's Yankee ships still in the harbor. This war could be here any day. I have a right to know where my boy's going.
Mother, you have to promise not to tell anyone.
Well, of course I won't tell.
It's a submarine.
A what?
A ship that can also go underwater.
Why would they want to do that? They're going to send you out into the harbor to try to run the Yankee lines.
I can't talk anymore about it, Mother.
Johann, did you volunteer for this?
I did.
Why?
It's an adventure, Mother.
All right. But you tell me when you're leaving.
I will, Mother.
Hello, Mr. Becker. What can I get for you this evening?
Just a beer, please. I have not seen Lydia around this evening.
She is currently otherwise engaged, but she is in attendance this evening.
I will wait for her.
May I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
You have told me that you are from Hamburg, and I myself, of course, am from Frankfurt.
Ja, a Hamburger und a Frankfurter in Charleston, South Carolina. Ich hätte nie gedacht, dass ich hier lande.
Ja, ich auch nicht. Aber wir müssen das Beste daraus machen.
An associate of Miss Annabelle's, Lieutenant Dixon, is looking for individuals with maritime experience, especially with a military background.
I have served in the Navy before. I assume this is for the Confederate Army. How much does it pay?
I'm afraid I do not have all of the details. If you would like, we can have Miss Annabelle arrange a meeting between you and Lieutenant Dixon.
Yes, I am grateful for the work, thank you.
There was a gentleman speaking German with you last week.
Yeah, Mr. Miller.
Do you think he would be interested as well?
I suspect he would appreciate the work. However, his service was not with the Navy. He was an artilleryman, and he does not speak about this time of his life.
I understand. I believe what we will do is arrange a meeting between Lieutenant Dixon and the both of you. Ah, there's our lovely Lydia.
Hello.
Thank you for waiting on me, Honor.
Well, I had nothing better to do. And anyway, so there I was fighting at the university, and I get this scar because I missed one block, and that is the last time I picked up a sword. I decided after that I'm going to go tour the world. I should have gone to London. However, here we are.
You sound very brave.
Yes, I am. Yes, yes. Like I said, I've seen very many things in this world. One time I saw a fish. He was this big. This big, I tell you. That is vile. You drink that here on purpose?
It makes for a great evening.
Well, Pete, looks like things are working in our favor.
How so?
Everyone we talk to is willing to help us. They're sick of this blockade.
And the new crew is being put together now?
Yes, sir. Following your orders, every member must have military experience.
Good.
Millie, I don't want to make you upset, but I have to tell you what I saw in Charleston yesterday.
Well, what did you see?
Like I said, I don't want to make you upset.
Catherine, what did you see?
I saw your son, Johann, coming out of Miss Annabelle's.
Don't worry about that. They're having secret meetings there.
Millie, that's what all men say about Miss Annabelle's.
It's true. It's part of his new assignment.
Assignment?
He asked me not to tell anyone, Catherine. I told you it's a secret.
Millie, I swear you was born yesterday.
Now you're starting to get me a little upset. I told you it was a secret.
Millie, you've known me for years. What is he doing?
They're sending him out on a ship.
A ship? A ship where?
Into the harbor.
Well, I imagine that's how a ship gets out to sea. How are they getting past the gate?
This ship can go underwater.
Oh, I see. No wonder they want to keep this a secret.
Thanks, miss.
Anything else I can get for you, Colonel?
Not right now.
All right.
So, you say you hail from England?
Yes, Birmingham area.
Interesting. I do not detect a trace of an accent.
Well, I moved to this country before my daughter Lorraine was born. Coming up on 25 years ago.
A pleasure to meet you, miss.
Likewise, Mr.
Gottfried. Hans Gottfried. I arrived in time for this wonderful blockade to put a stranglehold on this city.
So what do your folks back home think of this blockade?
I was in the Prussian Navy, so blockades are something of our specialty. I can understand the necessity, but I do not quite understand the politics.
Everyone hates the blockade. So what can I get for you, Mr. Gottfried?
I would like a shot of your finest liquor. Your father's recommendation, of course.
Lorraine, give Mr. Gottfried a shot of our finest Irish whiskey. I'm sure he would appreciate that.
Yes, I would.
So, Mr. Gottfried, what have you been doing with yourself since you've been in Charleston?
Well, being a former Navy man, I have been visiting the shipyards. It's the closest thing to home.
Well, there's a lot of ships sitting there that are not going anywhere.
I am particularly interested in the newer ships, the newer designs.
Well, I believe I saw an ironclad in one of the work buildings.
Interesting.
Well, if my daughter Lorraine doesn't mind, I could take you there and show you.
I don't mind, Father, but please be back before dark. It ain't always safe out there.
But first, ein Prosit.
My neighbor's son just got assigned to a ship that can go underwater.
Good, then let's go.
Miss Catherine, I thought you said all that was supposed to be secret.
Well, I guess it's time for me to leave now.
Yes, Colonel.
I'd like that second beer. But first, have a seat, please.
Oh, yes, sir.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
I wouldn't mind. This sounds serious.
This German man, have you seen him before?
Can't say I have.
How long do you think your father's known him?
Hard to say, but this is the first time I've seen him.
So, you would consider him a stranger?
To me, yes.
Does your father frequently bring strangers here?
Well, this is a public business.
Where does he find them?
Other saloons.
Would you mind explaining that?
Business is slow, Colonel. My father is a good talker. See, this place here doesn't have some of the features other saloons have.
You mean ladies?
Yes. He'll go to crowded saloons and talk up the things that we do have.
Besides plenty of open seats, what would that be?
The finest selection of European liquor in the city. Handpicked by him, of course.
I may return to find out if this German fella came back.
That would be fine.
Thank you. I'll take that second beer now.
Yes, sir.
So, you can't tell me one thing about this assignment you've taken. But it is military?
Yep, I do re-enlist.
I'm sure in your mind that this is the right thing to do, brother. But you told me you would not go back to that.
It's necessary, though.
I'm sure it is. But Lorraine needs help to run this place. She can't do it all herself.
Day by day, this is about how many people we get in here.
Do you have to travel?
Not very far.
But it is dangerous.
I can't tell you that.
So, Wade, what do you think about the target we've selected for the Hunley?
The Housatonic? That's a big ship, General.
I would love to see the Hunley sink the flagship.
Do you think the northern papers would print it if it happened like that?
It doesn't really matter if they do or not. The Navy will know what happened. And you know, I'm tired of the complacency of the Northern Navy with this. I'm tired of their smug attitude. I think it's time for them to have some uneasiness in their lives. We need to put those complacent Yankee sumbitches in their place.
Something sure smells funny up here. That's how I knew you was behind me, Colonel.
Yeah, that's real funny coming from a man who ain't had a bath in 6 months.
I am one with the sea.
Yeah, I bet. Good to see you're in fine spirits, Captain. This would drive me plumb insane being out here all the time.
I have my moments of insanity. It gets like that out here. I imagine you have my supplies?
Yep, except for the peaches.
I love my peaches.
Hard to get right now. Oh, did you hear about the Hunley?
That submersible?
They raised it again.
Why?
Don't know. Definitely keep an eye out.
Always do.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to our first meeting. Unfortunately, some of our crew members are not in attendance. Mr. Becker, do you know where Mr. Miller is?
What, you think I know where he is just because I'm German?
No. I ask you because you're the only one that can understand him.
I have not seen him, but I do know where he works.
He has another job?
Huh?
That would explain why he's not here.
I would think you already knew he had another job.
Well, not everyone tells us everything we need to know. Gentlemen, this is Mr. Lumpkin. He is the proprietor of this establishment, and he is also a member of our crew.
Welcome to the Harbor Tavern, gentlemen. I'll be happy to take your orders at your convenience.
Now that sounds like a good idea. Hold on. We have a meeting to conduct here first. Afterwards, I'll cover 2 drinks apiece for everyone.
This is sanctioned by your government?
Not government. Common sense. I understand the proclivities of seafaring men.
When may we see our ship, sir?
Soon. Probably too soon. Has anyone seen Mr. Ridgway? I'm really concerned that we have 2 crew members that aren't attending our first meeting.
We are here, sir.
Thank you, Carlson. I just want to let you boys know you don't have to address me as sir every time you speak to me.
Mr. Ridgway lives by me.
Good. Could you please remind Mr. Ridgway to attend our next meeting?
It's good to see you again, Ferris.
Good to see you too. I was hoping that sweet thing that puts up with me from time to time still in your employ.
She is. But before you head up there, I have a couple of ideas that could make you some extra money.
I'm all ears.
I am looking for parts from old Navy ships that have been disabled or abandoned.
That request might be unusual for you, Miss Annabelle. Might be out of my territory, so to speak.
Well, you are still traveling up and down the rivers, so if you see any boat that's been damaged or wrecked, you just make a note of it and let me know where to find it.
I can do that.
And have you seen our friend Parker lately?
Not in a while. We might have started out about the same, but he's gone on to bigger and better things, so to speak.
Where did you see him last?
Let's see. Believe it was in Hampton. On the Salcahatchee, I think it was, last I saw him.
If you do find him, can you give him a note for me?
Well, I'll be glad to give him the note, Miss Annabelle, but there's no guarantee I'm going to see him.
I understand. I have here a list of some very specialized boat parts. There's some good money for him if he can find these for me. And there's even more for you if you can locate him and find any of these parts that he can.
How much money?
Enough to set you up for a while. You know I've never gone back on a deal.
You've always been good to this old boy, but let me ask you something.
Yes?
Before, you've always let me trade shine for the services of that little gal in there. Just wondering.
Now, where is this batch from?
Mama Thorne, same as before. Swamp Witch Mama Thorne.
Well, that's the best batch we get, so we can keep the same arrangement. Just promise me something.
Yes, sir.
Trades are between you and me. But you just make sure you give my girl a good cash tip.
Oh, I always bring a little cash just for that reason.
Good.
Gentlemen, we have 2 additions to our meeting this morning. This is Major Foster. He's here to provide us any information about potential espionage.
Thank you. I brought along another fellow with me. I know we can trust. His name is Ferris. He's a river rat.
Now, I know some of you have been having problems at home because of the thick cloak of secrecy we have to maintain on this assignment.
Understand that with these meetings being held here, it's hard to keep it from my sister.
Is anyone else having any difficulty with this?
I have a nosy neighbor who will not stop asking me what I'm doing, where I'm going.
You need to tell her something to shut her up.
Damn right. That would be nice.
You not having any problems, Mr. Becker?
Oh no. My family and Mr. Miller, I'm sure, we have spent decades in a Europe that has been torn by war. He understands that these clandestine operations are precarious at best, and that secrecy is of the utmost importance.
Thank you. Ferris?
Well now, most people only talk to me when they're looking for some of my fine moonshine. But I have seen some unusual sights lately. Hell, some of y'all probably already heard of me. I run up and down these rivers, Salcahatchee, Cumbee. Hell, I push my moonshine as far as Whippy Swamp.
I'm usually out there alone, especially in this cold weather. There's others like me out there, but I know them boys. Been around forever. I was reared up with some of them. But there's others out there now. Folks that don't look nothing like me or you.
Folks I ain't never laid eyes on. Folks that'll give you a casual wave, but they won't stop and engage. They're not going to talk to you, because they're damn Yankees.
We gotta watch out for people like that, especially around here.
I will.
You all need to be wary of strangers. Don't go trusting people you don't know very well.
So we continue with the precautions.
It is absolutely vital to our safety for all of us.
So, this is what I was telling you about, gentlemen. What exactly are you doing, Mr. Miller?
What is this? He is wondering what this device on the front is for.
We move very close to an enemy vessel, and we use the spar to attach an explosive charge.
He is inspecting the quality of the steel on this vessel.
So, we go inside this thing?
That's right.
This is going to sink with all of us on it.
Well, let's hope not.
Where are the doors, sir?
Right here, the hatch on top.
Something goes wrong, we swim out?
Possibly. Mr. Miller over there, he's a bit taller than most. He'll have to compact himself to get in the hatch.
Something like that, sir.
So the front of this, it blows up?
If we get close enough to the enemy, yes.
So we attach the charge, we leave, and it detonates?
Yes. It detonates when we are clear.
A beer, please.
Welcome. We've not seen you here before.
Hans Gottfried, at your service.
And Miss Annabelle? This is Lydia? And Helen. They will make you comfortable.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
Okay. You know, we do serve more than drinks here.
Are you German? We receive quite a few German gentlemen now, and they are very nice.
Ja, I am from Berlin.
Wie hat es Sie denn hierher verschlagen?
Axon. Jetzt ist den Weg.
Aber sicher. But we are being discourteous to Lydia, speaking German in front of her. I'm sure you would much rather talk to her.
Yeah, we will not speak German anymore.
Would you like to buy a lady a drink?
Certainly, whatever she would prefer.
So what are you doing on this side of the Atlantic?
I was in the Prussian Navy for over 20 years, but I wanted to see more of the world. So I transferred to a mercantile vessel and here I am.
Ah, a sailor.
Nein, I am a navigator.
Of course. A man of your demeanor and conversational prowess would not be swabbing the decks.
That gentleman claims to be from Berlin, but he speaks German with an American accent. Do you have any idea what state he might be from? I'm guessing New York. And he's a naval man. Please tell him about Lieutenant Nixon's offer.
I am afraid my days of climbing the rigging are behind me. But I can still find anything with a sextant, except a way of getting out of here. I arrived just as the blockade began and have been trapped ever since. So I thought it would be a good way to meet some new acquaintances.
I can help alleviate your tedium. We have rooms upstairs that are well appointed and private.
Thank you, dear lady, but I'm afraid those days are gone. However, your company was more than worth the outrageous price of this drink.
Well then, I'm going to have to say good evening.
I could not help overhearing
like you have a maritime background?
Yeah.
There is a gentleman that frequents our establishment who may have an assignment for a person such as yourself.
I would look forward to meeting this gentleman. I understand that this government, I mean the Confederacy, has got an experimental vessel, an unterboat similar to what the Prussian Navy had, a ship that is capable of sailing ounces of waves.
You really must meet this individual. He should be here tomorrow.
Very good. I hope this will suffice.
It certainly will. Auf Wiedersehen.
Guten Abend.
Lieutenant Dixon, are you available to return tonight at 7 p.m.?
Certainly I can if I'm needed.
I have a candidate for you.
Somebody with maritime experience?
Maritime and more.
You mean a saboteur?
Possibly. He claims to be German, but Helen recognized an American accent. He mentioned something called an Unterboot.
Did he now? When I return later this evening, I'll have Major Foster in attendance, somewhere in the back of the establishment, not near myself or the candidate. If the situation gets complicated, we'll take it out of your establishment.
Please do.
Good evening, Frau Helen. I am here as requested.
Good evening, Herr Gottfried. The lieutenant over there is the gentleman we discussed earlier.
Thank you.
Another beer, Major?
I would enjoy another beer. It's the only thing I can enjoy in here, though.
Lieutenant? Hans Gottfried at your service.
Pleasure to meet you. Would you have a seat?
Thank you.
I'll have Opal bring it. She can keep you company until her next appointment.
Thank you.
The gentleman over there with Lieutenant Dixon is the candidate in question.
Thank you.
Lieutenant Dixon, I understand you are looking for men of a maritime persuasion, but you appear to be an army officer. How is this so?
Well, I always have been fascinated by ships and seafaring ways.
Myself as well. I was in the Prussian Navy for over 20 years, until I transferred over to a mercantile ship.
So it sounds like you've had some very interesting experiences, Mr. Gottfried.
That I have.
But the vessel I'm raising a crew for is a very specialized craft.
Something like an ironclad vessel? Innovative craft are a passion of mine. Something with speed and stealth to break through the blockade and free us all.
I will be able to explain it better if you'll attend some classes.
I will be happy to, but first I must know what they are about.
You'll be fascinated, Herr Gottfried.
Hey, York. You're bored in here, aren't you?
I'd rather be in the field killing Yankees. Instead of sitting around a fancy parlor where I can't fancy. You sure are young to be working in here.
My daddy was killed in Manassas, and I have 2 little brothers to feed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I hope you can go back to shooting Yankees soon.
Me too, honey. Me too. Would you like a beer?
Yes, that'd be very good.
I'll get you one. Please stop by the Major's table and ask him to discreetly follow that gentleman when he leaves.
We thought he looked suspicious.
I'll have him out of here shortly. For now, could you get me one beer, please? Thank you.
Helen, please tell Opal her next gentleman caller is here.
Opal, your presence is requested upstairs.
Thank you, Helen. Good evening, Major.
Major, the lieutenant has requested that you keep a close eye on that man.
I am. I'm just not showing it.
He has also requested that you follow that man when he leaves our establishment.
Thank you. Sounds like something I should do. Good work, Helen.
Which one was the man you talking about?
The man next to the horse.
So who's the other fellow?
I seen him around. I don't know his name, but I think he's a courier.
If that man's a courier, he just got paid.
Looks that way.
Want to take him now?
When this courier leaves, we'll follow him.
Yeah. Interception.
Yeah, right. Maybe a couple miles down the road.
And then what?
Back here, when it's dark.
What are you hoping to get done?
I want that information the courier's getting.
And the man inside the house? You expect either of these men to make it out of here tonight?
I do not.
Good evening, Mr. Sutton. Have you been waiting long?
Long enough to want to get out of here.
I have something for you. It's inside the house. Very important.
Same destination?
Same destination.
Do you have something else for me?
Yes. I will get the letter.
Looks like a lantern burning upstairs.
Yeah. You think he's alone?
I believe so. Go in quiet now. Let's go. We ran into that courier down the road.
He's not going to make that delivery.
You tell us everything you know, and we might let you live.
Operative word is might.
And if I live, it will be in a rebel prison camp.
Well, we made him an offer.
That we did.
Your note said you had something very important to tell me.
Yes, sir. You were very particular about the importance of checking for spies.
Absolutely.
We have a dramatic development.
Share it.
Pete, after enlisting civilians of various occupations, we managed to track down and eliminate 2 Yank operatives right here in the city.
How you know they were after the Hunley?
Well, one of them was very interested in unusual ship design.
That's good news. That's good news. When do you think the Hunley will be ready to go?
Next week.
So, when were you going to tell me Johann was going on this assignment with you?
Well, I wasn't, but it looks like he already has.
Well, good for him. He respects his mama.
Lieutenant Dixon is bringing another guest for the meeting tomorrow.
Who's that?
He's bringing Miss Annabelle.
Miss Annabelle. The Miss Annabelle? From Miss Annabelle's?
That's the one.
What is she coming here for?
Well, it appears that she was a big help with the investigation.
Oh. So now they're making the owner of a sporting house out to be some kind of a hero?
I didn't mean to upset you, Molly.
I appreciate your consideration.
Once again, we're honored to have Major Foster present here at our meeting with us, and Ferris, of course. And I believe most of y'all are acquainted with Miss Annabelle. Are any of you aware of what happened at Miss Annabelle's establishment this week?
I heard spies.
That is correct. With Miss Annabelle's help, we set up operation, and it was successful. Annabelle?
I told these officers at the outset that I would do whatever I could to help lift this blockade from our harbor. I engaged everyone in my establishment to help with this endeavor. We watched, we listened. We paid very close attention to everyone who came in that we did not know. And there was one that gave us particular cause for concern. So, of course, we alerted Major Foster and Lieutenant Dixon, and of course, Ferris here. When you see any suspicious individual, do not try to follow him yourself, especially out the front door into the street. That would be far too obvious. Find a way to get a message to Colonel Alexander or the Major. Of course, when you're in my place, the girls and I will be able to assist you.
So, what happened to those spies, Major Foster?
We caught up with them.
The Major and his associates have made sure that these individuals will never cause any more trouble.
That being said, I can pretty much guarantee we ain't seen the end of it.
Good evening, ma'am.
Evening. My name's Tilly. What's your name?
Johann Carlson.
Well, that's an interesting name. Your voice says you're from around here, but your name says you ain't.
My family moved here from Europe when I was quite young.
Ooh, Europe, how exotic.
I'm afraid I don't remember that much about it.
Well, I see you in here from time to time. Always alone or with some officer.
Yes, ma'am. He's wanted me to work with him on a project of his.
I see. When you're in here, I've noticed you've been throwing an eye my way quite a bit.
Oh, I am so sorry, ma'am. I did not mean any disrespect.
Oh, Johann, you don't worry about things like that in here.
Where is that lieutenant?
Did you want me to leave?
No, ma'am.
Well, all right then. Let's talk about what you do want.
I'm not quite sure.
You've done this before.
Not really.
So, you've done this, but you ain't ever paid for it.
Yes, ma'am.
So?
Ma'am, I don't think I have enough money for this.
Well, Johann, how much money do you have? You got enough.
I do?
You got enough to be alone with me for a whole hour.
That would be wonderful.
Oh, good to see you, Miss Annabelle. I hope you have some good news.
Yes, I have obtained all that you require.
Thank the Lord. We launch in 2 days.
Do you think you'll be ready?
I hope so.
So, you're going to sleep all day tomorrow and leave in the afternoon.
That's right.
How long are you going to be gone?
I wish I knew.
And you can't tell me where you're going
Cannot.
or what you're going to be doing.
No.
Be safe. You're up early, Johann.
Yes, ma'am.
Something troubling you?
They're sending us out today.
You're worried.
Maybe a little. I've been in battle before, you know that. Kind of feels like it does before a battle. Remember that I love you, Mother.
You come back to me, son.
So, you just couldn't stay away, could you, General?
No, I just thought I'd come by to see you off.
Come on, men. Time to get inside. We're off to the fight. Open the valve, Ridgway.
Yes, sir.
Forward.
How long does this take?
It can take hours.
Stop the crank. Crank!
Why you load me up with all them powder kegs, Colonel?
Well, I sure as hell ain't gonna take them into one of their warehouses now, am I?
Still no peaches, I reckon.
Charles, I believe they're out of season.
How about the rum? Not for me, you know, the boys are asking.
Oh, certainly not for you. I got you a box.
Now that's good news.
Listen, Charles, I gotta talk to you about that submersible.
What about it?
2 of our operatives were executed right outside of town there.
Our spies?
That's right. We're sniffing around for that sub.
Find anything?
We don't know they were executed.
Something's going on.
I believe so. Keep your eyes out. Talk to your boys about keeping their eyes out. Be very careful.
Climb to surface. Man the bilge pumps.
Where? Not even 100 yards out. I see something. Something out there. Can't tell what it is. We can blow that little thing right out of the water. Broadside, maybe. Unless it changes course. Hell, we gotta throw something at it. Small arm, something.
Reverse crank. Stop the crank. Forward crank.
Keep up fire.
Help us. Ramming speed.
Got it, Evil!
Prepare for impact.
So you're telling me that the Hunley just plain vanished?
Yes, it was last seen heading towards the Housatonic, and you know what happened after that.
Massive explosion and Housatonic sank.
You got what you wanted, sir.
Well, the mission was successful, but I wanted the Hunley to be able to return home safely with all the crew members. Maybe then we could have celebrated.
Yes, sir. We all wanted that.
I think that the Hunley is a great idea. I think that submersibles will be playing a large role in the navies down the road, but I don't think we're there yet.
You know what? I think the men and this mission are going to be remembered.